as we speak. And Stacia, if you could give us one more storm track on that, that would be awesome. What do you have?
All right, Trav, I'll track it from Highway 99 up to the northeast at about 40, right into Winona. So Winona folks, please pay attention to this. 724, so just a couple more minutes for you just on the southwest side of town now. Talent 735, Barnsdall just after that at 736. So Pershing, Talent, Barnsdall, Gillen, Wolco, Woolarock, and Oshaleta, all included in the track. Oshaleta would be about 30 minutes from now, closer to around 750. And again, what we're tracking is that area Trav just pointed out of circulation right along State Highway 99 south of Winona.
All right, thank you. We just had a flood advisory issued for Pawnee. They've had 1.3 inches of rain.
Trav, they issued on that circulation.
Okay, they did? All right, so they just issued a tornado warning. Okay, so we have an active tornado warning right now then, because that's what has looked like, that it was going to be not good. And so that's a very tight couplet that we kind of saw developing here for the last 10 to 15 minutes. So if you are in this area, we do want you to be advised what's going on right now. So here's the tightest look at what's going on. And you can see that, so it has crossed 99 now. And so if you're out here in Ranch Country, County Road 2701, County Road 2240. Those are areas, County Road 2665. You guys need to be taking cover or at least get someplace safer because that's on top of you right now. This is a minute-old data, so we know that that circulation's strong enough that it warrants a tornado warning. National Weather Service totally agrees with that. And so that's moving to the northeast. And so this is going to have strong damaging winds, if nothing else. And, of course, you throw in some hail with it as also. Back out just a little bit with wind shear, and you see, okay, there's the velocity, how tight it is right now. So this is very strong damaging winds. And if it's not a tornado, it will be strong damaging winds happening right along this area, especially the tight one near Winona. You should be under cover at this point in Winona, and also at all the ranches and places that are east and southeast of Winona. And strong winds will even go west of Winona. So this is a tornado warning till 8 o'clock. Okay. And so this is the kind of the couplet area on the south side of town. So if you live here, I want you to be advised that you do need to be under cover right now, away from outside windows and walls. That's the most important thing. So this is north and west of Tulsa. We do have a chance of storms here coming up the next hour, an hour and a half. But an active tornado warning right now up into Osage County. And you're looking at Hominy kind of in front of me. Right there. And so this is the circulation feature most concerned with. And then also with this, let's go out wider and get a look at hail. There should be a hail core that's still in there, and we'll talk to Bob in just a minute. Hopefully, is Bob going to be available here? Has he got into service yet?
He has. He is going to have to kind of reposition because there's a bunch more stoplights going east on 20, so he's going to have to probably drop a little south to get back east with it. Okay. But he is available.
All right. Sounds good, sir. Thanks. So again, Winona area, south and east of Winona, tornado warning for you guys at this point through 8 o'clock. Do want you to be advised for that. Also, strong winds back to the west of this area. Shear continues to be strong with this whole leading edge. So if you're any place along this leading edge, just be ready to move to a place of safety. The circulation feature comes all the way through the Winona area, and that's what we're trying to watch real closely. And we don't want anybody to get hurt in this particular storm. We're going to widen out too, so you can kind of see where this is in relationship to what's going on in, around the Tulsa area. And this is, again, to our north and west. But this tornado warning, you can see what's going on here. Bob's near the Hominy area at this moment. And then we're going to, does Bob have any strong winds right now? With that, I don't see, it looks like, can he talk to me for a minute? See where, hey, Bob, are you there?
Yeah, Travis,
okay.
Go ahead.
What's your winds right now?
Well, believe it or not, they're coming out of the northwest here now in Hominy, and they're maybe 25 or 30. I'm down to 57 degrees on the backside of this line. So definitely the fronts here.
Right. You've got a tornado just to the north and east of you, too, most likely. So so we want you to be advised for there, and you can reposition. So just try to get out of there safely, and we'll get you back into another area. All right, so that's Bob's picture. Let's go back and show you what's happening at this time. We do have indications right now. This is not a good indication. I mean, it's a bad thing because this is giving us an idea that we have some possible debris showing up on the radar at this particular moment, and that usually happens only when you have a tornado. So again, this is on the south side of Winona. This was a few moments ago. So this is going to be south and east of town right now. And so if you are just south and east, this is the huge circulation feature associated with it. And then you can see as well, velocity data continues to lock into this. We'll look at live, we're looking at live radar right here now. But as you look at what's happening, strong damaging wind potential. And so this is the circulation feature right in through here that's going on the south and east sides of Winona. If you're in the Winona area, you need to be taking cover. This was a storm that was near Hominy just a few moments ago. So this is tracking north and east. We'll talk to Stacia here, have her give us an update. But this is the storm that is going to be producing damage now. We do believe, as we're starting to get radar confirmation of damage potential on this. So if you are in this area, you got to be in cover, just south of Pershing, and that goes over Talent. So just be advised. Stacia?
Yeah, Trav, Winona, Pershing, Talent, Barnsdall, you guys need to be in your safe spot, centermost part of your home, lowest level. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, this is a confirmed tornado warning. We are possibly seeing debris being lofted into the air with our radar products just south of Winona. And so that will continue east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. Pershing, 734 just to the south of you. But this may, again, head up into Barnsdall by 739. So we want you to be in that safe spot also around Talent at about 739. Woolco, Avant, Woolaroc, and Oshaleta are included in the track, and that would be about 745 to around 750. So again, for folks in Barnsdall, Talent, Pershing, Winona, please be in that safe spot. Do it now, especially if you're southeast of Winona and then over towards the Barnsdall area, Trav.
All right, let's go back to CC if we could for a sec. So this is Storm Track Station just put together for us. And so this is the location of what's going on right now, just east, southeast Winona at this particular moment. So that's updated. And at this point, you're looking at debris potential that is quite high just on the south and east sides. And so you can see what's happened here. So that's an indicator. And the computer's even saying, hey, look at this. We have debris in the air, which means we have a tornado. So this is getting pulled in right on the south and east sides of town. This means you need to be taking cover right at this particular moment from this. So this is, again, right in here. So we're looking at County Road. We just mentioned these county roads a minute ago. I'll get off the picture. But 2350, 2487, 2663. And this is just all coming your way. So 2350, you're in the middle of it right now. You better be in cover if you're in a ranch, that area. Barnsdall, you're up next. So if you're in the Barnsdall area, we need you to be taking cover. County Road 2487, if you're close to that, you need to be taking cover. So this is a confirmed tornado now, just south and east, really more east of Winona at this moment. So you can see the circulation feature right in here. This is continuing to move to the east. And Stacia, we have it east, northeast, or east?
East, more east than northeast.
Okay, a little bit. We'll call it east-northeast then. And that's continuing. That's moving toward the Barnsdall area. So if you're here, you are in trouble right now in terms of you're not in a safe place. Remember, you can stream us and we'll continue to work with you being able to see what's going on. But this is the tornado. It's going to be wrapped in rain most likely. And so that circulation feature, it's very tight right in here. So that is moving off to the east, moving into Barnsdall here in a moment. If you're in the Barnsdall area, we need you to take cover because this is a confirmed tornado now, radar confirmed. We can't see it because it's wrapped in rain, and that's one of the worst ways. You kind of go, I don't see it, and then it's right in your face all of a sudden. So again, don't spend too much time looking for it because it'll find you. But it's right now 2350 road. That's what we're most concerned with at this moment. And 2487, you're up next. And it's coming in on you as we speak at this moment. And Barnsdall, you're up in just a moment here. So 2420 road, 2471 County Road, just on the south and west sides of Barnsdall. This is the tight circulation, so we have a tornado right in here, east of Winona now. That was just on the south side. We had a debris signature, so it is confirmed. It's tight, and this is unfortunately a tornado wrapped up right now across this area. This is going to continue to track to the east-northeast, which will put it right around the Barnsdall area. And so we're going to cross the highway just momentarily, and that's where we want you to be very much aware from Talent down through Barnsdall. And County Road 2471, 2420, you guys, again, got to get in cover real quick. And you're at 2487 now. And so that is right on top of you if you're on County Road 2487. You need to move away from the outside windows and walls and get as low as you can. That would be a very, very good thing. You can see the sheer kind of this S thing. It's kind of like a spinning disc almost. And so that's just a true indicator that we have tornado, and it's just a rotating supercell at this particular moment. This was an indicator of debris. We'll probably get an update on that in just a little bit, but we anticipate that that could possibly be coming up as well. Do we have a new CC update on that? And then we'll get a storm track from Stacia. So again, just the immediate areas of Barnsdall, Talent. So there was still a debris signature. That was 7:30. Was that just updated just now?
Even at 7:29.
7:29. Okay. So we're at 7:32. It says on there, but 7:29. So we're a few minutes behind on that. But this is coming in right now. Here's the tight circulation, and as we said, that's right along County Road 2487. And so there's a debris signature again. All right, Stacia, what do you have on Storm Track?
Okay, Trav, we're tracking it right into Barnsdall, and this is going to be here in the next few minutes. So please be in that safe spot, lowest level, away from windows, away from doors. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, there's debris being lofted into the air potentially, so please take this seriously. Talent, Barnsdall, be in that safe spot now, along with Gilland, State Highway 11, where you meet up with State Highway 123, then continuing on to Wolco 742, Woller Rock, just in about 10 minutes or so. Oshaleta and Ramona, closer to 750. And then Bartlesville, you are included in the track. You're on the far northern edge of this track. And again, it's moving east-northeast at about 45. Oglesby would be closer to 8 o'clock, along with, again, Bartlesville and potentially Dewey if it continues on. Trav?
All right, the key is if it continues on is right, but right now it is a tight circulation and it continues to show up. So again, if you're in Barnsdall, Talent, you got to get to a safe place right now because a high probability of a tornado. It is confirmed tornado. We have the debris signature from it, and none of our trackers can see it because you can't get in the middle of it. This is a very damaging tornado that is going to be moving up, and so there's going to be a lot of damage. It's an area that looks like it could be about 2 miles kind of wide as far as damaged debris area. As far as the tornado, it's more specific to a smaller location. This is wrapped up tight right now. So again, from Pershing to Talent, and then back on over to around the Barnsdall area. You can just see this couplet. This is unfortunately a tornado. And so this is moving northeast. And again, we'll be near Woller Rock. If you're any place in these areas Stacia just mentioned, we need you to move to a place of safety. Let's come in a little bit closer and go live radar if we could and get an update from that. We'll try to get our trackers and get an update from some of those guys in just a moment. Who do I have?
Bob has some tree damage south of Winona. He's on 99 there south of Winona following that.
Okay. Yep. So again, tornado right now is just to the east of Winona and moving in on Barnsdall as we speak. Bob, we're not going to go to your video. Let's see. Bob, we're not going to go to Bob's video. If you would, Bob, just tell me what you had just south of Winona.
Hey, I was just a little bit north of Dick Connor Correctional Facility on 99. Had trees down along the road here, including one that made one lane impassable. So we do have some damage between Hominy and Winona.
All right. Thank you. We'll let you keep on coming up through there. You're going to run into that damage again, tight, very tight at this point. So if you are on County Road 2420, you better be covering up right now. This looks like it could go in or near Barnsdall, just on the north and west sides. This is an active tornado warning at this particular moment. And so this is coming in across the area. We're seeing a little bit of a change in it. And I know some of these digits and some of this data doesn't look too impressive, or it looks impressive, but it looks kind of weird. But this is the circulation right in here. So we have a confirmed tornado. And you see this couplet right here. It's very easy to see how this has gone up. And that corresponds with where Bob is located, seeing trees down, and it just crossed right where Bob is located. So that's just, and that was the debris signature from it. And so this is still the tornado moving east-northeast near Barnsdall. So it looks like this could go on Barnsdall, northwest sides of Barnsdall for the tightest location of it. If you're any place in this area, we want you to move to a place of safety. This is a tornado warning. So you can have damaging winds and not even be in the tornado. And that's what we're seeing right now. So this is the couplet. It's updated again. And so that is now at 2420 Road. We'll have Stacia get another update in a minute. But Barnsdall to the north, there's the update that we just had. And she's going to get us an update as well. But that is now right at Barnsdall already, so you need to be in a safe place up to Talent. That's a huge circulation. Not quite the same tightness that we had just a moment ago. Can we go to live radar for a moment, and we'll take a look at what that looks like right now. But it's still there. And so now it's from Barnsdall to Talent area. So if you're right in here, this is our circulation feature right in here. And so that's from Barnsdall up to Talent. If you're in this zone and that's moving northeast, you'll have it. Anything, Aaron, that you need to update me on? Go ahead. Are we good? Okay, so this is continuing to track there, and Stacia has a storm track, and this is a tornado-warned storm again. Osage County, we'll get a broader picture coming up in a second.
That's right, Trav. So we're going to keep it northeast at about 45 east-northeast, just north of Barnsdall now, the Dollar General, right along State Highway 11. You guys need to be in your safe spot. Talent folks need to be in your safe spot. This will be crossing over 123 and then continuing on to the east-northeast from there. For folks that are around Wooller Rock, please find that safe spot now. And then also Oshaleta, Trav. If this continues into Washington County, folks at Oshaleta are going to have to take cover from this. Hog Shooter 801, Dewey at about 802. But again, Barnsdall up to Talent, we stress to you to find that safe spot now if you're not already there as it continues east-northeast, Trav, at about 45.
Yeah, because it's in Barnsdall, so we want you there. Safe place. Again, get away from windows, outside windows, get closer into the middle of your house. Put as many walls between you and the outside as you can. Sturdy walls are extremely important. And so, again, it's a very important part of what you need to do. Bob was just reporting, and is Bob available to say something? Hey, Bob, quick update from you. What are you seeing from your location?
Hey, Trav, I had damage along 99 South Winona. Looks like some of the south side area of Winona has power outages. North side looks to have power right now. I'm coming up on Highway 11 shortly. Back to you.
All right,
and
thanks.
I had some power flashes northeast of me, so I still believe it may be on the ground.
All right. It still has the circulation feature to be on the ground at this moment. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. Brandon's on the northeast side of this storm. And again, this is now moving through the Barnsdall area, the circulation and through Barnsdall at this moment, and Talent. So you're in this zone right in here. Strongest, most damaging winds will be in this area. Let's go back on over to Shear for a quick update on what's going on with that. And we'll get an update. So that is when that was coming in. So that was a few moments ago. What was that update? I can't...
37.
It's 37, so it wasn't even 39. And so that's 2 minutes ago. So the circulation feature is still there, about CC on that too, and we'll take a look at that. So this is the storm over Barnsdall at this particular moment. And so we're going to take a look and see what we have and see if we see any...
Doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't look like it, yeah, like it did. So maybe it has changed a little bit. Tornadoes don't just stay the same. They are constantly evolving and changing that way. So again, if we're lucky, it'll cycle and maybe could cycle down. But we still have circulation feature from Barnsdall back to the north. And as Bob mentioned, he had a power flash. So that's not a good thing. So still have the couplet there around Barnsdall. So that has come up. And so that's still most likely either a tornado or damaging wind. And so this is where it looks like it has crossed the highway at this point. So we're at Highway 123. And then you can see that it's on County Road 2400, and if you're up on County Road 2301, any place in there, you're in an area that has a potential for a tornado or strong damaging winds. The couplet is still here, not quite as tight as it was just a few moments ago, but it is still situated in a location where we're still concerned. And again, they cycle, so they can change a lot. Brandon is at this point in an area where he can see that storm coming. He's further to the north and to the east. Let's take a wider view if we could on this, and let's go full screen for a minute, guys, if we could. So this is the look at the tornado warning. So again, there's Barnsdall, then it goes down to Oshaleta. Brandon's looking back into that storm, so we're going to talk to him in just a second, and then we have another storm we want to show you in just a second as well. Brandon, first, let's go to you and get an update. What do you have?
Well, Travis, right now we're sitting at 3000 Road and 75, and we've got inflow to this storm about 15 to 25 miles an hour. We're looking due west right now, and you can see in our shot right there, there's a really nice cutout. So that's the area that we're going to be watching as this continues to move our direction, Travis.
All right. Yep, indeed. And so we'll have that. And you guys there, just be advised, that storm, if it keeps moving east, we're going to have to continue with the tornado warning. That's in Osage County right now, but getting ready to move into Washington County pretty soon. And you can see the updates as far as what's going on there. Let's go a little bit wider and show everybody else what's going on as well. So we have this active tornado warning. We'll be right back to this in a minute. We have our severe thunderstorms as well backed in. And so here's what I want you to know is that as these storms move to the north and to the east, so it doesn't look, it's like, that doesn't look like a tornado. It just looks like rain. But there is an active tornado within that, and tornado warning. And then you'll have these other ones that are further south. But these are along a boundary. So our guys are lined up all along here. You can see Alan, who's down right now, right in the Cushing area, and Kevin. So we're going to lead this in. John Durkee's also someplace in this area, and so we're going to continue to watch these storms as they move to the north and east, because these storms also will be running into a little bit more unstable air and more issues. But let's go back now and show you what's happening. Again, to the north, we have rain and thunder. Hail is mixed in all this, but the main thing that we're seeing at this moment is the strongest winds have died down, and you can kind of see that just a moment ago. If you'd loop that one more time, that'd be awesome. So that yellow indicates most likely the tornado and the strong damaging winds that are excessive. So you'd get up to around nearly 100 miles an hour that the radar was picking up. And notice how it died out. So this is cyclical. And so this has weakened a little bit. And so the tornado hopefully has weakened enough that we don't see it. Brandon's on the east side looking back into it. And then Bob's just on the back side of that, coming around and trying to catch up with that zone. So again, in the Barnstall area, it was most likely just weakening as it went into Barnstall. If you're in Barnstall right now, this storm is at least moved through your area, this one, and so you should be okay. But the circulation feature is a little bit further now, just on the southeast sides of Woolaroc, and then also northwest of Oshaleta. So that's a little bit tighter circulation in here, but it's not as bad as it was. So just still take cover, because it's still a tornado warning, and there's a potential it will cycle. Stacia's been looking at it and has a storm track for us. Stacia?
All right, Trav. We're going to prepare for the storm to cycle just to make sure we're on the safe side here and folks are prepared in case it does happen. Now for Oshaleta, it's about 7:50 coming into town. Oglesby would be about closer to 8 o'clock, so you're 20 minutes or so away.
Okay, hang on, Bob. Let's go to Bob's video real quick. Let's take that and show you what he has, and so you can see it real quick. And then Stacia will come back. Hey, Bob, tell us what you're seeing there.
Yeah, I had a lowering look like a pretty good funnel cloud. It is not, as I could tell right now, on the ground. So at least that's a good thing. But it's definitely got a lot of rotation and was producing a funnel just a minute ago. So we're going to have to watch this closely as it travels east. And it looks like it may be wanting to drop a second area rotation behind the first area that's north of Highway 11. I think what I was observing is still south of 11.
Okay, all right, and they've and real quickly they've reissued the tornado warning now into central Washington County, and sirens are activated for Oshaleta. And Stacia, let's go back to you with a storm track, if you would, please.
Yes, Trav, ready to go here. So this will take it over to Oshaleta, which you mentioned the sirens sounding now, 7:50, so about 5 more minutes. Find that safe spot in Oshaleta, Oglesby, Glen Oak, and if you're in Bartlesville, especially on the south side of Bartlesville, be paying attention here, but Glen Oak would be about 8:04, Trav.
All right, so again, a lot of action going on just north and west of Tulsa. We do not have severe weather any place else right now. We do have our tornado watch in effect for the Tulsa area through 9 o'clock tonight. We do have a new tornado warning. As we mentioned, this new tornado warning is issued for east central Osage County and central Washington County. That'll be till 8:15. And that's for the storm that's been producing a tornado in the past and could produce a tornado as it moves northeast. And so it has picked up speed a little bit too. So again, the couplet's getting a little bit stronger again. As we said, it's cycling, and we don't like that. The additional thunderstorms are up now around Cleveland, and then also another one that's still pretty intense now going through Stillwater. So these are possibly rotating, and we haven't looked at them too close, but let's go back to our tornado warned storm. And when you see the blinking on the red polygons, that's a confirmation that we have a tornado inside that polygon. When it is red and not blinking, we don't have the confirmation. We just feel strongly that there could be a tornado at any given time. So that's a difference, and that's something that we've had for a year or two, but again, haven't had to worry about tornadoes for a while. Circulation, unfortunately, is tightening up again a little bit, and again, that's more of a cyclical type of thing that we've talked about, and that's what we're mostly concerned with. We'll talk to Brandon in just a moment, but as you look at where we are, Bartlesville's just to the north, so this is a kind of the area in which we have a strong rotation. This is a big supercell, and so those storms up above are rotating, and that's what we were looking at. But if you're right now along 123, we do want you any place from County Road 2146, and that's pretty much your hit with the storm already, and this is a closer inspection on it. So we're at County Road 2075, crossing into Washington County right now, near Matoka. And so if you are in this area, and that means also North 3940 Road, and that goes not only along State Highway 123, but east of that, that'd be North 3950 Road, and east 230 Road. So these are places, if you hear me mention those words and you know where those are, that means it's very close to you. We do not have a confirmed tornado right now, but we do have this cycling again back to where we could see another tornado coming down. So if you are in this area, be advised that this is the prime area for a tornado. That's why the tornado warning has been extended. We're at 747 right now, but it is tightening up again right in this zone. So be watching the skies or just get to a place of safety. And let's go over to Brandon, get an update from Brandon. How are you seeing this, or what are you seeing? Go ahead, Brandon, if you hear me. Is Brandon there, Aaron? There he is.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Travis. We're moving north on 75 right now. That circulation looks like it's probably going to be just 2 miles north of us. We can't see anything right now other than just some light rain, but we're trying to get a little bit closer to get a bit better vantage point to get eyes on this, Travis.
All right. So again, if you're in that area, we do want you to be advised for that. Yeah, because those lightning strikes are kind of killing the camera there for a second. So a lot of lightning strikes occurring with this thunderstorm. You should be able to see some kind of ragtag look underneath this. So this is crossing the county line of Osage into Washington County. So here in just a few moments, if you're in Osage County, this storm will be out of your picture, and we'll have to, but if you're east here from Washington County, you will have to be aware of what's going on, because this is the main circulation feature. We're going to go to station, get another storm track here so we can see what's happening. It looks like it's picked up speed a little bit. Station, what do you have?
It has, Trav. It's now about 50 to 55, still east-northeast, and so we'll track this through Washington County here, just about 3-4 miles south of Bartlesville. So for those that live on the south side of Bartlesville, and you guys want to be paying attention very closely, Hog Shooter by 7:57, just before 8 o'clock, along with Oglesby, more than likely tracking just north of Oglesby, but Hog Shooter, Glen Oak in the track of this, and then continuing on to potentially Nowata at 8:11, Delaware just around that same time period, about 8:11, 8:12, and then also Lenapaw at 8:18, Trav. So we'll continue through Washington County and then potentially over into Nowata County.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We do have some other storms that are continuing to form down to the south. So again, just because you're not to the north of Tulsa doesn't mean you won't see more storms forming. So we have multiple storms. We have the one that's coming in just on the north and west sides of Oshaleta. If you guys are in Oshaleta, hang on 1 second. We'll be right there with that. Just wanted to point out that we do have the storms now that have moved through the Stillwater area. This is still a pretty potent storm. This is the boundary area. So if it's on the boundary, there's going to be circulation. This is warm, humid air that's right along that. That's why we have multiple severe thunderstorms along this line. Here is Tulsa, so it's getting closer, and we'll see if there's an enhancement of storms. So that we still have a chance of some of these storms potentially becoming tornadic. So that's why if you're in the Tulsa area, we still want you to be paying attention. Here we are at 8 o'clock. We said sometime between 7 and about 8:30 we should see storms. So that gives you an idea. Storms are down in McAllister, not severe right now. Back on up to around the Oshaleta area for you guys. Again, flashing red indicates a confirmed tornado, but the new tornado warning does not have a confirmed one, but it is just south of Bartlesville right now. Brandon is kind of in a position where you can see his video on the lower left-hand side, and we're not going to go full. We'll just leave his video up right now as we're looking. And Brandon, if you would, give me an idea what you're looking into there to your left and to your northwest.
Well, Travis, we've got a lot of intense lightning in a congested area, along with what I believe is some power flashes just off to our northwest there of that shot. Trying to set the night vision up here. We're just coming in out, I believe, Oshaleta right now, so we're telling this from behind. So we're trying to get closer to see what we can see, Travis.
All right. And, holler at Aaron and May, if you would, in a little bit. Megan's making sure our social media is getting updated for folks. They're on social media right now. So a little closer inspection of what's going on right here. This circulation feature right in here. So you see where Brandon is located and the Matoka area. This is south of Bartlesville. But we're going to be watching right in this zone, because if there's some power flashes, we'll have a little bit better idea if there's some debris in the air. We do want you to know that this is tightened up right in here. And let's take this full screen for just a moment, if we could, our radar, and then we'll come back with Brandon, because Brandon's got a pretty good shot there as well. But it's just to his west at this moment. And let's zoom in just a little bit more and center that if we could. So if you are right now, just anywhere from, we'll call it North 3960 Road, also around the Matoka area, 3940 Road, 3950 Road, and especially 3940 right in the areas where it is intercepting about 27 or 28, or I should say 27 or 2600 Road, West Road. You are right in the main circulation feature here. So that's why we want you to be aware of what's going on right here. This is the main circulation features across the Washington County line now, and it's tightened up again. And so there is a chance that this is going to be a tornado. Brandon, anything else to add? We see lots of lightning showing up there. What do you have? Brandon, go ahead and give me an update if you would, real quick.
Hang on, Travis. We've got really, hang on a second. Got to back up here. We got to back up a little bit. We've got, let's see here.
It's right on you. Yep. So this is updated.
Hang on a second.
Yep. And so he's right at the circulation now, crossing 75. So this is a tightening up. So we think we have a tornado, close to a tornado.
85 mile an hour.
Okay. Out of the west?
Yep, out of the west.
Okay. We're going to call this a tornado right now then.
Yeah, this is a tornado.
Okay. Let's go his video full screen real quick. So he's got a tornado crossing 75 right now. And so this is, again, just to the north. Let's see, it'd be 2600, about 2700 road, and then Highway 75. And so if you are in this area, you need to be under cover at this moment. Tornado, likely, right there just on the north side of Oshaleta. So a tornado, you got to take cover for a tornado. Anything else, Brandon, do you see any debris?
No, Travis, we're just getting rock. We can see the road signs blowing across. The winds are still strong out of the south. 100 mile an hour wind.
Okay. Tornado.
100 mile an hour wind.
More likely right here. 75. And we'll, Stacia, if you can do
it's crossing us right now.
All right. Let's go full screen for Brandon. Just a minute. We're going to get a storm track again. If you're south of Oshaleta, I should say north of Oshaleta, it's crossing 75. Right now, getting potential, some debris maybe lofted into the air at this moment. And you can see what they're up against right now with the winds. Again, this is just to the north on 75. Somebody's trying to drive through that. Brandon, what else you got?
Travis, we're still getting slammed with very strong winds. We're stationary right now. Man, oh man, 90. That's 90 mile an hour wind still out of the west.
All right. Again, we're just near the Oshaleta area. If you're in this area, you've got to get to cover. Guys there reporting 90 to 100 mile an hour winds. We have a tornado.
120.
All right. They're just going through it right at this point. So you can see what's happening here. So if this, we have strong damaging wind, tornado likely in this area, crossing 75 right at this moment. Crossing right through and moving to the east. And so Stacia's going to have a storm track on here just to give you an idea of where it is. But if you are, this is the latest one. So you can see Watova, 809, Nowata, if it holds together, 810. And that continues off to the east, but primarily right now, if you're on Moose Lodge Road, 3990 Road, and also West 2500 Road. You are in the middle of it at this moment. Strong damaging winds. If you do not have a tornado, you will have a lot of damage and power outages. Don't forget to try to stream so you can continue to keep updated on what's going on if you lose power. But this is circulation. Brandon, go ahead. Give me anything else you got.
Travis, right now our winds have come down. I believe the tornado has already crossed 75.
Yep.
I'm trying to see what direction our winds are out of right now. They're still out of the northwest.
All right.
We're backing up just a little bit.
Vivid lightning display. We can see that. All right, let's go back to radar for a minute. Okay, thanks. So this is where the guys are. This is already moved to their east, about 3 miles. So if you're in this area, Moose Lodge Road, and then this is the circulation right in here. This continues to be extremely strong. And when you get winds of 120 miles an hour, whether it's the tornado or straight damaging straight line winds, doesn't matter at this point. So this is, again, very, very damaging wind with this storm. And this is a tornado-warned storm to begin with. So we do want you to be advised of what's going on right now with this. And you see that kink in there and a leading edge of that. And so that is the circulation thing, circulation feature embedded in this line. And so that's where the worst of the weather is located. We'll get Brandon repositioned after he, Brandon, can you see anything from your shot right now as you're looking off to the east? Any power flashes?
Travis, we're trying to pan the camera back to the, I believe those are power flashes.
Okay.
Those are power flashes, Travis.
Okay. Power flashes indicate tornado likely on the ground at this particular moment. So there's lightning, and then there's, when these hit
multiple power flashes just to our northeast.
Okay. So again, tornado on the ground. Let's go back to the county map here, if we can, or to our radar map so we can show you county lines and information what's going on. So this is where it is. So again, Brandon confirming what's happening. So from hog shooter, you got to get to cover if you're south. If you're on a ranch, if you're in a home, we need you to take cover right now. This is, again, covering an area that will be going pretty much, let's just say, from Highway 60 all the way down to past south of West 2500 Road. So any of these places from 200 Road, you could say, and then extending back to the south. Then we're going to cross over in Nowata County right in here. But this circulation feature right in here, and then the strong damaging winds with those power flashes indicate tornado. And if not a tornado in your area, you could get excessively damaging winds with this. Let's go back to Baron Button, if we could, for a minute and get an update on that and show you that we do have strong winds right in here. It's not picking up as well as what Brandon was just picking up just a moment ago. But this is the area in which from hog shooter area south, we want you taking cover immediately. You got to get away from outside windows and walls. You just have to do that to be on the safe side. When you get up to 100, 120 mile an hour winds, that's just what we went through in Tulsa back in June. So we have to be aware of what's happening with that. And that means a lot of damage. Trees and power lines will be out in this area. So right around the hog shooter area and extending back. And so this is around Moose Lodge Road and then back further to the south. Let's go full screen on this and get another update. We'll have Station do another storm track as well. Don't forget, we're under a tornado watch anyway. But this is the area, 2500 Road, Moose Lodge Road. If you're here in this area, you got to be in cover. Crossing county line in just a few moments. And then with that as well, you can see off to the east that this is going to cross into Nowata County here very shortly. Here's that indentation right in here. So this is very strong damaging winds right through here. Stacia, you got a storm track for us.
I do, Trav. It's ready, and the tornado warning has been extended now into Nowata County, including Nowata itself until 8:30. Let's get started here as we move it east-northeast at about 50, 55, taking it from hog shooter now. Please be in your safe spot if you live in hog shooter or over to Glen Oak from Highway 60 into Nowata. Also be finding that safe spot. Nowata, 8:11. You have about 10 more minutes before it comes in. Cootie's Bluff, 8:16. Lenapaw also at 8:16. Childers, 8:18, closer to about 8:20. And Centralia, if it holds together, closer to 8:30. So again, this is crossing over from Washington County now into Nowata County, south of Highway 60. Trav?
Okay, thank you so much. Again, circulation feature with that new tornado warning. I want you to be aware. This will go till 8:30 tonight, so we could have not only damaging winds, but a tornado embedded in this area, and this would be around the Oglesby area. And as Stacia just mentioned, headed toward the Nowata area. So if you are there, we want you to be very, very much aware of what's happening with that particular cell. We have another one that's trying to start showing signs of circulation. That's back around the southeast of Cleveland area and around Prue area. We'll talk about that in a minute, but first we got to get through this tornadic cell near and just from Oglesby to the north and to the east. So this is the ones that we're watching right now. That one to the south, you see just south of Hominy. Again, when you have a pendant like that and you're in warm, moist air, there is a bit of a circulation, and you can see it, and it's showing up there because its radar was pretty much giving us a good example of that. But the one that we're concerned with right now, all you folks, they're up around the Oglesby area and then extending from Delaware. Be aware, because this is the area in which is worst, the worst area at this particular moment, and the circulation feature is right here on Moose Lodge Road as that continues to move off to the east. And you can see, I want to mention a couple of county names, or county roads, so that you have that. If you're on East 250 Road, and then also along North 4060 Road, North 4070 Road to Highway 60, you need to be taking cover. Wind damage is likely, and power outages are likely along this area, especially in the embedded areas that have the strongest winds and the circulation feature, which continues to show up right along. Now it's on the county line. So if you're on the county line area, that's what we would need you to be aware of. We do have Brandon, which way is Brandon headed right now? Is he cutting east, or what's he going to do?
He is moving north to 60 so he can cut east. Okay, sounds good. So again, if you are, because our trackers now are going to be near or just right behind it, circulation is just southeast of Hog Shooter. And so this is the highest likelihood of an actual rotating area where you're going to have really strong shear right in here, and this is where the strongest winds are going to be located. And then Oglesby's already had the strong winds come through you guys, but the area in which most likely is a tornado has been just pushing, and you can see what's happened from where Brandon was located. So that we haven't changed the characteristics too much. It has cycled once again, and so we do have a very tight couplet in here. We'll talk to Stacia again with another storm track in a minute, but this is from Glen Oak all the way down to east of Oglesby. If you're in this area, especially right in this area, let's come in closer to county roads to give you an idea. So this is the leading edge with the strong winds. So now that is getting really, really pushing onto 4060 Road. And then that will be at 4070 Road here in just a minute. So this update's coming every minute to us. Let's go to live radar for a minute if we could and see what we have at this second. So that is you'll just get a wall of water and wind, and then embedded in that, you're not even going to be able to hardly see it. And you'll have just a lowering possibly that you could see, but that's it. The lightning might illuminate it for a moment, but the biggest concern right now is what's happening. So the main turbulence right in this zone, so it's crossing county line right now from Washington into Nowata County. So if you are in this area, this is where the most likely part of the tornado, and then the strong damaging winds continue to show up with this as you're looking at this line right through here. And Stacia, we'll have you do another update here in a second, but I just want to point out, again, we're now east of the county line. So this is, if you're into Washington County, you're pretty much done with this storm. But if you're just east of the county line road, it's just moving in on you as we speak. Here's 4060 Road, 4070 Road, and we do not have quite the circulation pattern that we had before. So once again, we're cycling a little bit on this, so we might not have a tornado on the ground, but I do believe we're going to have over 80-mile-an-hour winds, especially right in some of these areas where this is located at this moment. So if you are here, notice how fast this is moving and updating every minute. So this is already now over to 4070 Road, and that is headed off to the east. Let's find out where it's headed. Stacia, what do you have?
Trav, I'm moving it more due east now, and again, we're watching that cyclical nature of it, seeing if it'll ramp back up again, but it's already moved outside of my track, and I just drew the track maybe a minute or so ago. So we're going to bump this up to about 60 miles per hour. Nowata here just before just after 8:10, and then Watova about 8:15, Delaware also about 8:15, Childers around 8:21, and Alloy at 8:24. Trav.
All right. So these are the storms we're watching. There's another storm that's down in Pittsburgh County. But I want to go just for a moment, since we've got you guys in Nowata covered along Highway 60 with that latest storm track. I want to mention briefly, just to the west of Tulsa, there is a bit of a circulation feature. There's not a major one at this point. We do have a severe thunderstorm. Tornado, they did. Okay. Well, I was just looking at it and saying that looks enough that we have to be watching it. And of course, they feel the same with the National Weather Service. So this is a circulation feature associated with this. Now, here's the thing. This is closer to Tulsa. This, again, is around the Lake Keystone area. I should say from Lake Keystone to Skytook Lake. And so this is now over Skytook Lake. So you can see it. You can kind of see the outline here. Here's Bull Creek boat ramp. If you are here, this is starting to rotate. This is on that same boundary we were just talking about. So again, that's what we're most concerned with, is how this circulation is situated at this moment. And this is tightening up. And therefore, we do believe this is doing a similar thing, and it will happen this way just because the atmosphere is set up. We have the thunderstorms on this boundary, and so that's helping enhance the rotating part of it. So as long as it sits there and doesn't get undercut by a cold front, which is up to the north, we have a problem. So this is the tornado warning. So we're going to go in between these two nonstop to keep you updated. Let's go ahead and have Stacia do a quick update on this one, and then we'll move to the next one. Again, this is northwest of Tulsa, and this is over Skytook Lake, and then Skytook's off here to the east. Okay, go ahead.
All right, Trav. So as we continue to track this across Skytook Lake, I'm going to bump the speed up here more because it's moving faster, and these storms have picked up speed recently. So we're going to pick this up here for the one that's out around Skytook Lake, Morgan's Corner, just to the west of Skytook, and we're going to move it east-northeast up to Avant, Ramona, Vera, Skytook. Again, this will be about 8:20 for Skytook, Ramona at around 8:27. Oshaleta, also at 8:27. It's been a bumpy night for folks in Osage County, now into Washington County as storms continue. And again, these storms spinning. This tornado warning, though, that includes Skytook and then up to Avant and Woolco. This is a radar indicated area of rotation. Not a confirmed tornado warning at this point, but again, an area of rotation that we're watching closely. And it's very evident on radar that we have something going on here. And that's the way, as Trav mentioned, that we'll see it through the rest of this evening into tonight. But that area of circulation, Trav, Bull Creek boat ramp, if you're familiar with Skytook Lake, that's kind of right where it is, just on the south side, Skytook Lake, Black Dog Park, right on the north side of Highway 20.
All right, thank you so much. So that's what we're looking at there. Bigger picture. Here's Tulsa. Tornado warnings now on the west and northeast sides. We're up around Nowata. We're going to talk to you guys now about what's going on, but this is the storm coming on up. You can see Bob and John are covering that one. And again, other cells could be forming here, so that's why we have to watch that. If you're down in McAllister, we have a heavy thunderstorm advisory for you, but it's not tornadic right now. We will have probably a talk to Vaughn if we have to down to the south. But right now, let's go back up and take a look at what's going on through Nowata, get you an update, and then we'll go back off to the south. So again, circulation feature. Tightest at this point now, 1700 Road coming in on Delaware. This is the main part of this is just to the north and northwest of Nowata. If you are on 1600 Road and then 1700 Road, and then that extends to around 1800 Road, I call it, and then down to 190 Road. This is a main circulation feature here where winds should be around 70 to 80 miles per hour. So if you are in this area, you could experience a tornado. And then also, you could experience damaging winds and power outages because this, again, is tightening up a little bit right in this zone. And Brandon is in some of the heavy rains that are on the back side of this cell. But we do expect this storm to be capable of producing some tornado, number one. Number two, damaging winds. Those are the primary issues that we're going to be dealing with both of these cells. The circulation is a little bit more broad just to the west of Delaware, but it's still tight in these little, I say broad, the whole thing is rotating, but it's a little bit tighter couplet right in here. And that's what we're most concerned with, because when this next update comes in, if you're in Delaware, we really want you to be in a place of safety. As we say, get away from those outside windows and walls just to be safe. And if you're in a manufactured home and you don't have any tie downs, get out of that really fast. And even if you have tie downs, it's probably a good idea to get a little bit more secure structure if we have 100-mile-an-hour winds with this, which I do think we could have some wind gusts up to around 100, similar to what Brandon went through. This is the same storm. Brandon just went through. So again, if you're in this area, and Stacia will have a storm track in just a second here on this one, but 1,600, 1,700 roads coming into Delaware at this time should have, there's that update, and you see this couplet is right in here. And you see what's going on 1,700 road. So again, if you're around Delaware and ranch homes to the north or just to the south, you'll experience some strong winds. Some might only get about 50 miles an hour. And I say some might only get, but it means there's some that are going to get more than that. And so the damaging potential is right here. Stacia has an update. Stacia, what do you have?
Yeah, Trav, I don't think that's the same area of circulation. I think that's a new one, but it's, of course, same storm.
Yep.
This is more on the north side, though, now. So, of course, this is Delaware, 169 up to Lenapaw. That's going to be in the next few minutes. Childers, 818, continuing on to potentially Centralia at 830, and maybe even crossing over into Kansas about 838 if it stays moving northeast. And we've bumped the speed up 55 to 60. That's the same vector. That's the same speed as a storm to the south that we were tracking on the west side of Skiatook Lake. Very fast movement here, Trav.
All right, yes, and so it's two parts of that circulation at this point, and this is, again, a tighter one right around Delaware. A little bit further to the south, we can go down to around Nowata, and you can see that there's another indentation there. And did you?
I would say this is a little out of the way, but watch the storm west of Hallett. There's a storm west of Hallett that started. It's small, but it's starting to show some signs.
Okay. So these storms, again, the atmosphere is just, it's one of those days that's just conducive to tornadoes. The Delaware storm, though, unfortunately, this one pretty tight. You're seeing another indentation right now, south and west of Nowata. If you're in those areas, just know that we're going to get strong 60-mile-an-hour winds along this whole area. Delaware, though, right now, I'm afraid of a tornado for you guys at this moment, because this is really close and tightened up considerably. So again, if you're in Delaware, we need you in a safe place. This is to look at the county roads again to give you an update from Delaware to the north to 1300 Road. You need to be in undercover right at this moment. That goes to North 4160 Road. And then it might take it almost all the way up to State Highway 10. We'll have to get a storm track on that in a minute as well, if this is a new update that we're going to see. But we're going to go back to the tornado warned storm just in a little bit, just to the northwest of Tulsa. But the main circulation feature right now from Delaware, and you see what's going on right here. So if you're in this area, just around Delaware, to the north side of Delaware, to near Lenapaw. This is the, we're starting to see, unfortunately, what we don't like to see, because that's a first indicator that we're getting a really big twisting of winds under the supercell, which has been going strong for quite a while. And so this is what will likely cause us some problems. Crossing over right now as you look at what's happening on Highway 169. So that's just literally coming in on 169 shortly. All right, we're going to go out and take a look at the other tornado warned storm. And we do have an additional severe thunderstorm warning with that. You see Bob and John are located right there with this storm. It's just crossed Skiatook Lake at this moment. Bob is an Avant, and I don't know, is Bob shot very good right now? I've been so focused up north. Is Bob, can he talk to us for a second? Bob, if you're there, can you give me an update on what you're seeing? Maybe. Are you there, Bob? Update from Bob. There you are. I can hear you now. Go ahead, update.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of lightning starting back to the west from that cell moving up towards Skiatook. I'm in Avant looking back to the west, so definitely going to be in position for it to come up here. Back to you.
All right, and that wave that just came through you in Avant, was there any winds with that or not?
No. I got to Avant a little bit after it had come through here.
Okay. All right, thanks. So again, as you can see along Highway 11. All right, let's come back out for a little bit and take a look at the picture again. So the tornado warning, and this is Tulsa County, and you see what's going on. And then we have a new severe thunderstorm warning now down for you guys in Pittsburgh County. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, but again, rotating parts of the storms could develop down here for you guys. So we do want you to be advised for that. Sequoia is picking that up. Vaughn is also going to be picking up the storms. But we have two active tornado warnings right now. So again, that storm is not as strong as the one that we have up to the north in Nowata County. So let's go on up, and you can see the two differences of them. Here's that indentation around Delaware, and you have heavy thunderstorm to a severe thunderstorm almost near Centralia, and heavy rains to the north of that. You have this storm rotating, so that's a tornado warning storm. Let's look at velocities again, back up around Delaware, and so this is wrapped back up. So we have either a tornado or getting close to it again. So this is Delaware to the north side. This is the same part of the storm that I was kind of worried about, and so this would be, I'd say 60, 70 mile an hour winds with this. Could be stronger, right, where it's a kind of a couplet area on the north side, and heavy rain and thunderstorms with that. How far out is Brandon right now, Aaron? Is he just west? Station can... Southwest? Okay. Hey, Brandon, a quick update from... Oh, there he is. Can you give me an update what the winds are behind this this line?
Travis, we haven't been able... We've been trying to get caught up with this. If I had to estimate what they were, I would say probably anywhere from 35 to 45.
Okay. All right. And I know you got to keep your hands and eyes on the... pretty much on the road, or the hands on the wheel and the eyes on the road, so I won't be bugging you. But all right, that gives us a pretty good idea what's going on there. So again, that comma area is right up in here. We do have in Nowata, that storm has just moved through Nowata. So Brand is just to the west of Nowata. We're not really going to catch up to this storm, but we can at least get a pretty good idea of what's happening, and Brandon can get a kind of a good shot of what's happening. So this is a look at what's happening here. Again, a couplet right near Delaware area, and then the strong winds having moved through Nowata. Station, what do you have for storm track?
All right, Trav, we're going to move it east-northeast, still at about 50 from 169 south of Lenape over towards Sanders, taking it through the eastern parts of Nowata County. So from Lenape to the east, we want you to be in that safe spot. Lenape, just now, it's on the south side of town, crossing 169. Childers would be about 821, Sanders at 826, and Centralia at about 832, Trav. So the tornado warning for Nowata County is until 8:30. That's about 15 more minutes. As the storm has moved through Osage and Washington and Nowata and continues maybe into Craig County, we'll see if that tornado warning continues, but that area of circulation still over 169 just to the east now, southeast of Lenape.
All right, thanks so much. Appreciate that. So again, that's tornado warning number 1. We're going to go to tornado warning number 2, which again, if you're in Nowata County, the station just got you that information. Right now, Bob's getting closer to this storm. Again, circulation feature in here is a little bit different. You see John Durkee too, west on 20. He might, as he's looking through some rain area, and the velocity data is not quite as intense, but again, doesn't really matter. Bob is closer to a little bit of that circulation feature, and I do believe, I'm gonna look at the boundary just to make sure, that boundary is literally right through that area. And so we already have some winds, let's see, that would be Skytook has a west wind in 62. So let's go to John just with a quick update from John. What do you have for winds right now? What do you have going on that you can see?
Right now, the winds are virtually nil here in Skytook. I'm on the west side of town, and a vivid lightning display off to the southwest of me, and it is rolling toward the Skytook area right now, and looks like it'll go between Skytook and where Bob's location at Avant. Back to you.
All right, yep. So again, just out to the west, we're going to keep our eyes on that. That is an active tornado warning. Circulation feature there is a little bit weaker, which is good news, but he's again, Highway 20 just on the west side of Skytook, and so that has moved off to the east, and so that tornado warning, we'll see how long that lasts. The worst of the weather continues to be up to the east of Delaware at this point, so that is the circulation feature. Now, this is above surface at this point, but you can see where it has continued. The couplet has continued for a while, and because of that, we're still going to continue the tornado warning for a little bit longer, and you can pretty much see, I'm going to have you loop that one more time if you would, and you can kind of see how that's kind of rotating and filling in. So that's this area right in here. And so you do have a couple of these cells in advance of it. You can see those are moving more north. These are moving more easterly. See, these are going north. This is moving east. So this is a circulation feature in here that is pretty impressive. And that's why this thing's held together, because it is a massive thunderstorm. We might look at it on 3D if we could. That would be pretty awesome to look at, because we haven't taken a chance to look at that. But if you're in this leading area, so again, from Childers now, already through Delaware and then through around the Lenapaw area. This is where we're finding the strongest winds. And you see that little hook area there. Station's putting up 3D look for us here so we can look at the storm and see what we have as far as the intensity and vertical with it. And then also we can see some of the hail, and we can do occasionally some velocities that help us understand. So this is part of it. This is the one in advance of it. So this is getting strong enough to probably be severe. But this is the part that's right in here that's rotating. Can you come in a little bit and fly into that there and take a look? Yeah, thank you. And so we're going to look into that indentation area. So this is where moist air is coming into the storm as we speak. And because of that, this is a location in which we have near Lenapaw, and that's why it's on the north side. This is blowing out here. So it's around the Childers area at this moment. I'll get off the screen for a moment so you can kind of see it a little bit better, so I'm not blocking half the screen. Could lose weight. Anyway, we're talking about 1300 Road, and then also State Highway 10 and east of Lenapaw. That's where the pretty much the apex of the storm is located at this minute. And so we do want you to be advised for that. Heavy rain, thunder, winds, probably 50, 60 miles an hour. And Stacia, what are you seeing with that? Anything to point out at this moment?
Not at the moment. It still continues to me, and as it does so, I mean, I think the tornado warning will be continued into Craig County, but we'll watch that. They did let the tornado warning go, though, back around the Skiatook area just south of Barnsdall, so that's good. But this storm will continue over to Sanders, right along State Highway 10, moving east-northeast at around 50 miles per hour. So they did go ahead and issue, Trav, on the storm you just were talking about, how it was getting really close to severe criteria in northern Craig County. This is north of Centralia, just south of the state line. There's going to be some hail with this. This is north of 90 Road, State Highway 10. There's going to be some pretty large hail chunks and 60-mile-per-hour wind potential here. This is ahead of the tornadic storm that we have been tracking this evening, which is still back in Nowata County, just east of Lenapaw. So that's around the Childers area, and that's moving east-northeast at about 50, 55. We're also continuing to watch very closely what's happening down to the south. We're watching Pittsburgh County down around the McAllister area, Trav. They have a severe thunderstorm down there that can start to spin. It's trying to. It has been trying to. We'll kind of go down to the south and show you that one. Sequoia Quinton has been watching it. It's east of McAllister now. It's around the Blocker area, and that is going to be right along Sure Hills Road, State Highway 31 from McAllister, Trav, up to Blocker. Hail and wind there, but again, it can spin, so we're going to keep an eye on it.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And you see that severe storm, again, on the south side, Tulsa's in the middle. Be nice if Tulsa missed everything, but for you guys that have had to go through storms tonight, sorry about that. But it is April 1st. No fooling on this one. We have strong thunderstorms, but only one tornado warning right now. Then that severe thunderstorm warning off to the east. Then we have a severe thunderstorm that's down around McAllister, as was just mentioned. So as we watch what's going on with these cells, we do think that there will be more additional severe storms tonight. But the one we still focus on is where Brandon is located. So Brandon's gotten closer to that. See, Bob and John are on that cell. So again, the boundary is already coming through Skiatook. So we'll probably get our guys a little bit further south along this boundary so they're not in the cold air. But here's the circulation feature now. Brandon's in Nowata. Hey, Brandon, update from you. Have you seen any damage around Nowata or in Nowata County?
Travis, we haven't come across any damage right now. We've just been driving through torrential amount of rain. And the lightning is just nonstop, but haven't ran into any damage, and we're going to continue to move. Well, there goes some emergency vehicles, so there might be something to the north on 169.
Okay.
We'll continue to. We're going to continue to watch this, and we may go up to 169 and see what that's about.
All right, because that circulation feature is a little bit weaker up there, but all right, if you want to check that out and stay with that storm for a little while longer, that's great. So we're looking at heavy rain, thunder, lightning, all that going on now in Nowata. Back to the north and to the east. Circulation feature is strong, but not as strong. So there's some good news for you guys in the middle of the tornado warning. There's no more tight couplet like what we just had, but it is still tight enough that the warning probably will have to continue at least through the end of the warning time, which, what is the ending time on that station? 8:30? Okay, so we're coming up at 8:25. So we'll see if it's reissued or not because it has weakened a little bit. So again, that is closer to the boundary. I'm going to look real quick at it. So that boundary is, right up there in Nowata, and we're getting some northwest winds now. It's down to 65. And northwest winds of about 15 to 20, gusting to 28. So that's in Nowata, 65. So that boundary, along with that thunderstorm, knocked it down. So once we get that boundary into the area, that really knocks down a lot of problems and gets rid of the storm. But we're still feeding into that some very strong winds out of the south. And so if you are in this area, we still want you to be very careful. It's not as tight as it was, so there's some really good news for you guys. But we still want you to be cautious, just to be safe. And leading edge of this continues to track. So now we're pushing it off to the east, northeast of Childers. Let's go in closer and do our city street level. And you see that's west of Centralia. And then you can see what's going on. So we're looking along that leading edge. This is the latest update now. And it's right along County Road 4250. So with 4250 near the Sanders area, if you're familiar with that, a lot of ranch land up in this area and around the Childers area. So some wide open spaces there. But that's right now, I'd say east 110 Road, where it intercepts probably Road 4250 and Sanders, and then back down. So we should see some 50, 60 mile an hour winds in there. Circulation feature is not as strong. Looks like a new warning, severe thunderstorm warning might be just issued. Yeah. Looks like we're going to potentially change over now from a tornado warned storm to a severe thunderstorm warned storm, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, we still have a small area here of circulation, but the good news is, as I said just a few moments ago, it's not as intense, it's not as tight, which makes it a lot, at least it's easier to indicate to us that it's maybe not a tornado like it was before. Brandon's on the south side. Here's the leading edge of this. And so that's already through the Childers area. That's headed over towards you guys in Craig County here shortly. So this is now a new severe thunderstorm warning. And Stacia, if you would, we can get a new storm track on this to get a pretty good idea. But we still want you to be careful because there's still hail in a few of these. And the one that Hail Corps was issued was for the one north of Centralia for the severe thunderstorm warning. So that's just hanging out in northern Craig County right now. So there should be some, I'd say nickel-size hail, maybe up to quarters with that. But we're going to keep an eye on what's going on with that one. And Stacia, what do you have?
Travis, we'll track this east at about 50 miles per hour, so we'll move this into Craig County. Sanders, Centralia, Blue Jacket, Welch, all in the path here. Centralia at 8:33, Welch at 8:49, and Blue Jacket at about 8:51. I've been looking at power outages tonight, and we have a lot over in Osage County. In fact, the Barnsdall area, there's over 600 customers without power, and the Barnsdall population is just over 1,000, so that's more than half for the town of Barnsdall tonight. We also have power outages around Winona, few in Pawhuska. So that's from earlier in those storms that came through. To the south, we've had severe storms in Pittsburgh County, and tonight south of McAllister, right about where Highway 69 meets up with the Indian Nations Turnpike. We have a lot of power outages down there around the Choctaw Casino as well, Trav. So there are folks now, they've had power. Their power was knocked out when the storms came through, but we're finally seeing those reports come through with the co-ops and PSO and like situations like that.
All right, and I was reading while you were talking, and did you say about the semi? Did you mention semi on 169? Okay, on 169, semi flipped over. There was an injury on that. That was at 3 miles north of Highway 28 and rolled over and has one person that's trapped in it. So that makes sense that those are still strong, damaging winds across that area. So again, we want you to be very careful. You see the severe thunderstorm that's down to the south, now moving out of Pittsburgh County, moving into western Haskell County at this time. So that's the storm there. These storms are lining up a little bit more and are going to be moving with a cold front as it moves through tonight. The one tornado warning is still in effect, but it is allowed to be expiring right now. So it's going to go to a severe thunderstorm warning, so we do not have any active tornado warning. Here's a problem, though, that we do have. So the temperature's a lot cooler back behind this boundary that's coming in. The only thing that is causing some problems is the winds are generally out of the south-southeast, so that we call it backing winds, which means they're kind of backing to the southeast, which as it runs into thunderstorms, that kind of helps to create a lower level shear and spinning. And so what that does is helps these thunderstorms, if they're starting to create an updraft area, those thunderstorms start to come up. And as they do, they kind of get a little more oomph, so to speak, to spin more like a top as well, closer to the surface. So we're with temperatures in the 70s at this hour. And so that's why we're still warm and humid. And the National Weather Service just said that they're going into conference to see if they're going to continue the tornado watch past 9 o'clock. Because these storms are not quite as fast as they were supposed to be, which again doesn't surprise us. But these storms are going to continue to move off to the east. And as they move off to the east, then we will see additional rain and thunderstorms around Tulsa. So that's one of the issues that we have to keep an eye on. Back up and you see the tornado warning has been canceled now for up where Brandon is located. Heavy thunderstorms at this point around Labette, Kansas. And then the ones that had the tornado warning just northwest of Tulsa, those have really died down. But the severe thunderstorm warnings still going on. That is not to say, again, if you're in Craig County, especially if you're in advance of the cool front, which at this point the cold front is it's almost through Craig County. So we're not quite. We still have some southeast winds from around Centralia. So we still have some warm, moist air shooting into this storm. So we do want you to be aware that this is a rotating area and potentially still could recycle. So that's in this area, but we do not have an active tornado warning right now. Severe thunderstorms continue in this area. Then we just have rain, and then we'll go down to see where Bob is located, and then also down around the Homney, Cleveland area for a second and see what we have and get an update from some of these guys. It looks like Bob, if you would, can you give us an update as you're crossing over and not too far from Highway 75? What's the atmosphere like where you are? What are you having?
Well, I'm north of Skytook on Highway 11. It's down to 60 degrees. Not much going on right now, a little light rain. So I'm going to try and get back a little bit south ahead of this boundary. Back to you. All
right. Hey, I appreciate it very much. Again, severe thunderstorm potential is still fairly high in some of these areas. Let's go down to John and John Durkee over by Skytook right now. Hey, John, what do you have for winds? What's the temperature at this moment?
The winds are nil, but the temperature is still at 71 degrees, and Bob and I are not too far apart, so there's a big boundary in between us right now. The rain came through here, still seeing some lightning off to the northwest, back toward the Avan area, but it has decreased a lot from the last 10 to 15 minutes. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, John. I greatly appreciate that. And once again, with the heavy rain that we've had and thunderstorms, that would create some rain-cooled air, so that would be helpful. But again, where John is located, he's pretty much on that boundary. Back to the south and to the west, we have a heavy thunderstorm that's continuing to hang in there. And so this one's just southeast of Hominy right now. But this is not severe. Let's put that into motion for a second if we could and get an update on what's going on. So that's still there and it's still hanging in there, but it's not doing too much. So we're going to possibly go back to programming if something doesn't change here in the next few moments. So we're going to stay here just for a second. Let's go down to McAllister and get an update there. And you can see what's going on with where Sequoia is located. He is near the storm. This is moving around the Quinton area. This was a severe thunderstorm warning. It was pretty intense, and we just dropped the warning off of this. And so we did have some heavy rain and some hail associated with that as that was cutting up and across areas from around Crowder and south end of Lake Eufaula. So that's why we're just going to have to keep watching, because these are still anticipated to be picking up again as we go through tonight. So that's where that's located. We are going to monitor. In fact, let's go wide one time and down to the south and see what we have at the Red River, which was supposed to be very active right now. But the warnings have kind of started to drop off a little bit. So that's good news. But we still have a lot of showers around. But it's not quite like what we were forecasting would be in the area about this time. So we're pretty happy about that, because we've already had enough crazy things happening. So that's a look at the big picture at this moment. We still have our tornado watch in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. And it might be extended So we're going to wait and see what the National Weather Service is saying on that. And Stacia, do you have anything to add on what you have over there? Are you seeing, do you have any power outage reports that you might be able to get to? And if you are, it looks like, I was just going to mention one thing is that we will most likely be able to get information on Nowata. Yeah, Nowata is still reporting the rolled semi with one person trapped. We do not know the conditions of that person, but what do you have, Stacia?
Trav, so just a few power outage updates for you. Of course, around Barnsdall, still about 600, a little more than that, folks without power. But here's a map, and we can break this down by counties. And so for Osage County, right now you're looking at about 1,000 customers total, and then down in Pittsburgh County, especially south of McAllister, Trav, there's about 900 customers total. So power outages mostly Osage, Pittsburgh, and Payne County, along with a few up in Montgomery County, Kansas. Trav?
All right. Hey, thank you so much, Stacia. I appreciate that. That's the latest look on what's happening right now. Again, tornado watch till 9, and they've just added a new severe thunderstorm watch now. So that's a new severe thunderstorm watch. So that's going to be backed up just on into, that goes till 1 a.m. Great. Across the area. So we can continue to cover severe weather just in case it's going to be happening. But we do want you to just be aware. There is still a chance of some storms that could still pop up. We are going to be here. We will have the latest information. Meantime, we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled programming. And don't forget, you can always stream with us, newson6.com, and that is one of the ways that you'll be able to see what's going on as well. But right now, the only severe thunderstorm we have, which is not too bad, is located just crossing the county line from Nowata into Craig County, and it does have the potential for winds of about 50 miles per hour or more. Still a vivid lightning show there, and we'll have more updates coming up here shortly. Keep it here. We'll keep you advised.